Well, I hope you are ready to build a life that truly matters. And with any building, it's about layers. The building I'm sat in right now was built from the ground up. In fact, from below ground, the foundation up. And the journey of a personal revolution is about building the version of you that is going to deliver what you're capable of. And so we're going to go through 6 questions that are going to help kickstart that journey. We're going to help unlock your values, your vision, and your purpose. So I hope you're ready. Let's go. Question number 1. Which version of you do you want to show up each day? This is about your core values. If you imagine that superhero movie that you may well have watched, and you know that when that problem occurs, that catastrophe takes place, who do you want to show up? You want Superman or the Hulk or Iron Man. Why? Because who they are in their character is connected to what they are capable of delivering. You know the problem that they can solve. And so we start with the character of who you are. And the character of a person is connected to the values that they embody. So on your screen right now, you can see a set of values, positive words. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list, but it's certainly a good start. And I want you to write down or enter into the assessment box below 5 values that resonate with you. And they resonate with you because of what they represent. So I want you to maybe list, first of all, a list of 20 that you kind of whittle that list down to. And then as you maybe have that bigger list, start to pair off words that are maybe closely connected. For instance, you might have creativity and innovation. But really, when you think about it for you, innovation unlocks creativity. So maybe the bias is towards innovation. And so go through your list and whittle it down to 5. Now, 5 is not a magic number. It's just the number that I found useful and helpful to work with. And then once you've got your list, enter them into the assessment, and we're going to build on the next layer. Now, again, just to say at this point, especially with words such as family and faith, and I choose those 2 because those 2 words mean a lot to me, because I have a family that I love and I have a faith that forms the foundation of everything that I am. But they're not actually in my core values. I'm talking about the words in terms of their essence, what family represents, what faith represents. So when you think of those words, especially, think in those terms. Otherwise, you may end up kind of filling your core values with words that maybe aren't actually your core values. So list those values, and then we're going to go on to the second part of this question, which is about who you are not. Now, again, back to the superhero movie. When that problem occurs, usually there are 2 different characters that are involved. There's usually the baddie, the villain, who may have caused the problem or caused the catastrophe, and then, of course, the superhero. And so you've got this scene being played out between 2 sides. And it's like your life and my life. There are 2 versions of us that show up each day and are wanting to battle it out. Which one wins? Well, it's the one that you empower the most. And so it's really important that we understand who those characters are. And so just as with the superhero, the winning version of you, you've got your 5 positive core values. We've now got to identify the 5 opposite, negative, losing values that best describe the version of you that you know can possibly turn up if you're not careful and you're not on it, and will actually hold you back. And it's important to identify the words that best describe that version of you. Okay, so again, on the screen, you can see a list. If you don't see your word, again, you put in a word that represents what kind of makes sense to you, and then enter that into the assessment. if you are submitting an assessment as part of this journey. And again, you don't have to do the assessment and submit it. That's if you want us to continue to help supporting you on this journey of building a life that truly matters. If not, you can just make notes of it in your phone or on a pad in front of you. Okay? So you've got your 5 positive values, negative values. We've built that foundation layer of character. Who do we want to show up and who don't we want to show up? And that's important because who you are is connected to what you are capable of delivering. What we create in life is an extension of who we are. So again, it's like the fruit of a tree is connected to the root of the tree. And so this identity is the root. But then we move on to question 2. And so this now is looking at purpose. How do you want to make people feel? Purpose is probably one of the most misunderstood words, and we often connect purpose to a job title or purpose to a career path. Now, we outwork our purpose through a job title or a career path, but it is not directly connected to those things. In fact, in and of itself, purpose is a feeling that we communicate to people around us. To have purpose is to be a means to an end. In other words, if there is a feeling that I want to communicate to people around me, then I want to be a channel of that feeling. I want to be a means through which that feeling can be communicated. So let's look at this. In life and in business and in relationships, how we make people feel is so important. Okay, somebody can say something to you, but it's how they made you feel in saying it that determines whether you paid any attention or not. Okay, so this is a list of 6 what I call soul appetites. These are feelings that we as human beings long to feel. Now, depending on who you are and who I am, we'll have different levels to which we need these feelings. So whilst every human being will need to feel assured that they are safe, secure, and doing well, that attention, that they are noticed and heard, accepted, that they belong and fit in, achieving, that they're progressing and growing, appreciated, that they are valuable and can add value, or affection, that they are cared for and needed. Like, we all need to feel all of those things, but you may need to feel attention more than I do. I may need to feel more affection than you do. And so I believe there's a reason for this. And I said at the start, this is about collecting clues to build a picture of who you are and what you're capable of. And so the feeling that you crave the most is the feeling that you are best positioned to communicate and to give others. And so what this means is that each day, my purpose is not about the job that I've currently got. So you may have a job that right now, you just know it's not forever. It's just for now. It's maybe just a means to an end. But you can have purpose right now by using that job, that role, that responsibility to help others feel one of these 6 feelings. And I want you to note down or enter into the assessment which of these 6 you want to help others feel the most. Like, if I could bottle this feeling up and I could package it and I could go and give it away to people, like, this would be the bottle. It'd be the bottle of achievement or the bottle of attention or the bottle of acceptance. Okay? So that's number 2. Now we're going to move on to number 3. What is your primary driver? Okay, what's the thing that is driving your attention, your focus? This is about mission. So again, what I've done is over the number of years of doing this and countless hours of coaching and developing people, I think there are 6 different drivers that we can be driven by. And on your screen, you can see what they are. And notice they are to take somebody from a place and to move them to another place. So for instance, you've got, I want to see people released. People who right now are feeling constrained, and I want to see them move to freedom. In other words, you're driven by that desire to liberate potential. Or B, to raise up people. In other words, to move people from being undervalued to being empowered. You're driven by the call to uplift and to empower. Or it could be C, to restore, to move people from a place of brokenness to wholeness. In other words, you're driven by that longing to mend and to put back together what matters. Or D, rebuild, to take somebody from ruin to structure. You love to imagine and construct new ways in order to take people from that kind of chaos to order. E, to reclaim, from loss to ownership. You're driven by the need to recover identity or meaning. And then finally, renew, from exhaustion to vitality. You love to see people revitalized. You have a vision of what that could look like. So again, look at these and they all sound very great, don't they? But there'll be one particularly, when you look back in your life so far, you think, actually, my activity tends to have been moving people from this place to this place. And it's best reflected by, again, one of these 6. Again, note it down in front of you. Enter into the assessment if you're filling the assessment, because this is the next layer that we're building on. Okay, now we're on to question 4. What can you focus on creating to deliver your impact? So this is now about taking the answers to the first 3 questions, who you are in that question 1 of identity, your why, your purpose, that feeling you want to communicate. We've looked at your driver, that from and to, where you want to see people move towards. And if you were to take all of those answers and those clues to the first 3 questions, what would a great focus be for you in terms of creating something to deliver your impact? In other words, this is the method by which others are going to be impacted through your life. And so again, on the screen, you can see 6 vehicles through which that could be delivered. It could be a solution to a problem that you've experienced. It could be a relief. In other words, a way to relieve pain in people. It could be creating a community, bringing people in from the margins, helping people feel like they belong. It could be a product that helps improve people's lives. It could be a service that helps make people's lives easier. Or it could be a project that centers on caring for people. Again, as we lay it out here, it may not perfectly fit what you can see and what you feel, but go for what best represents what you can see and what you can feel. Because again, this is just simply about helping to give you some guide rails to condense like this huge opportunity and challenge of building a life that truly matters and bringing some real focus so you can get to work on it today. Okay? So question number 5, the penultimate question. If we were to move into one area of society with that method, but driven by that mission, with that purpose of that feeling that you want to communicate, and of course, delivered by that character of who you truly are, right, which area of society would you want to impact the most? The film of Avengers comes to mind. And of course, in that you've got a number of different superheroes. And there are certain superheroes you'd want to show up in certain situations, again, based upon who they are and what they're capable of. So I guess this is about now looking at the avatar that we've created so far with the first 4 questions, and saying, okay, like if there was one arena where you could make the biggest splash, the biggest positive impact, like which would it be? Now again, it doesn't have to be confined to this area, but it would be the best space to land it today, okay? And that could be A, business, B, education, C, family. Again, we're not just talking about your family or my family, we're talking about the area of families. D, faith, E, healthcare, F, government, G, media and arts, or H, entertainment and sport. Okay, so again, as you can see now, we've taken it from this deep sense of core values, of purpose, of mission, and your drive of a method. Now we've landed it in a place and a space. But the final part is this. It's about vision. Hey, in what way will the world now be better because of your contribution? If you were to keep on delivering that contribution and go on this journey of building a life that truly matters, which could be then building a team, could be building a business, it could be building an organization, it could be building a community, whatever it could be. Like, in what way would the world be better because of your contribution? Again, on your screen, there are 6 ways. You're saying, hey, do you know what? After 10 years, 20 years of this, people are going to feel more free than fearful. People are going to be more seen than overlooked. They're going to be more whole than broken. They're going to be more resilient than fragile. They're going to be more connected than disconnected. They're going to be more alive than they are drained. Again, this now is about vision. It's almost leading you to your vision statement. Okay, which could be just for you personally, or it could be for your team or your organization or your business, okay? And again, what I want you to think about with this is I dare to challenge you to put a number on it. Say, do you know, in the next 10 years, 1,000 people are going to feel more free than fearful because in the area of education, I have delivered a project. And you can see, you go back on the questions that we've built. And that leads us to this final screen. And I wrote a book called The Winning Conversation. And it's all about the fact that the conversation that you have with you right now, even though I'm talking, I've got the microphone, but really the loudest voice right now is the voice of you talking to you about what I'm saying to you. And that conversation determines everything. If you empower a winning conversation, then it can mean you unlock that potential to deliver that value to the world. But if you don't, and you allow that losing conversation to keep holding you back, to keep suppressed and in you what you are truly capable of, then the world will be poorer for it. I will be poorer for the fact that you're not showing up as who you truly are and delivering what you're capable of. And so you can see here, you can go through and fill in the blanks based upon each of the 6 questions. I encourage you to write this out and to say it out loud each day so that you're able to challenge yourself with that final statement. Today, I've got to bring the best version of me because 1,000 people are going to feel more free than fearful. They're going to be more whole than broken in the area of business. They're going to be more resilient than fragile in education. 10,000 people are going to be more alive than drained because I'm going to be delivering a solution to a problem that I've experienced. You get the idea. This is just the start. Listen, if you want us to carry on supporting you, guiding you on this journey, we'd love to do that here at Personal Revolution. Fill in the assessment and we'd love to stay in contact with you via email, keep you updated, and we've got more resources, free resources to help you now build momentum on building a life that truly matters. Thank you for your time.